ना एक पर उधर ट्राइपॉड पे डाल के बैठ आराम से.
So bright.
You haven't changed one bit, Mr. Deepak Rana.
No, I haven't.
College में वैसे ही थे तुम. You know, you had twisted views on law. सही गलत was never that important, was it?
Okay, so here's what I can do for you. Why don't you tell me how you see it, and I'll tell you what I think about it.
Oh wow, you finally want to know what I have to say.
I always want to know what you want to have to say.
Okay. Well, कानून की ज़रूरत क्या है? In simple terms, isn't it a culmination of society's agreed upon rules? सही और गलत का अंतर? Isn't it the purpose of law to provide justice, to resolve conflict, to punish those who are wrong and immoral?
I completely and fully object. सवाल morality का नहीं है, my friend. It's about being deemed innocent until absolutely proven guilty without a shadow of doubt. And yes, if a client comes to me, then it is my duty to look at him objectively and presume his innocence. A wise man once said, it's not a lawyer's job to make moral judgments.
Of course. But are you telling me that as a person, you would dedicatedly defend someone who has committed a crime, who has ruthlessly killed someone innocent? I mean, where is your conscience as a person in all of this?
Yes, I would defend him, and it is my duty to remind you also, Miss Kaze, that an act does not make a person guilty unless his mind is also guilty. Let me repeat that for you.
Law college, I know all of this. But basically, इसे किसी भी हालत में बस सिर्फ जीतना है. That's what he's concerned.
I'm just saying that shouldn't we do our job just to the best of our abilities, Shifali?
Of course. But you know what? If you actually think about it, things are black and white. You know, if you actually think about it. Grey can be an excuse sometimes. Anyway, आप लोगों को क्या लगता है? आप किसकी तरफ हैं? Would you put your values, your morality, your conscience on the line only to be practicing your job? Where would you draw the line?
Now that is the big question here, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? Where would you draw the line? और इस सवाल का जवाब तो शो देखकर ही मिलेगा. But before I physically get ahead of myself, can you please give it up for the wonderful artists on stage? Shriya Pilgaonkar playing Kashyap Kaze and Varun Mitra playing Deepak Rana. Keep those claps coming. Thank you so much. Wow, this is a very nice, friendly, warm house. It feels so nice to be in an auditorium, mask-free. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everybody. My name is Rohini, and I want to give a special welcome to the young minds who are also sharing this auditorium with us. You are the future of law, ladies and gentlemen. So give them a big hand, please. Thank you. On either side. A special note of thanks to NMIMS, that is Narsi Mohanji Institute of Management Studies, for allowing us to organize this special event at their premises. Can we please give it up for NMIMS, please? Thank you. All right, yes, it takes me back to my college days where there'd be some exciting things happening in my foyer, but nothing as exciting as this. I mean, just imagine, today we're gathered here for the official trailer launch of Amazon Prime Video's first ever legal drama, Guilty Minds. Yes, lots of claps. I'm getting the rhythm of this. I'm going to say things and you're going to clap. This is amazing. Created and directed by Shefali Bhushan and co-directed by Jayant Digambar Samalkar. The Amazon original show will be available on Amazon Prime Video starting the 22nd of April 2022. With Guilty Minds, Amazon Prime Video has added yet another exciting and thrilling title. And today, of course, we're very excited to bring some really distinguished guests onto the stage and talk to them about what this show might mean. We have a lot in store for you guys, but without any further ado, जैसे कि इस show में कहते हैं कि कार्रवाई जो है वो शुरू की जाए. It's time to call on Aparna Purohit, head of Indian Originals, Amazon Prime Video, on the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Aparna! Aparna.
Hello and hello. Thank you everyone for joining us on this extremely special afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And really heartfelt gratitude to Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Dr. Paritosh Basu, and the entire faculty of MBA Law for giving us this platform, for giving us this opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Every show of ours is our labor of love. It goes through many a months of iteration, ideation, arguments, and the creators pouring their lives onto paper. And finally, when you see that on screen, it's nothing short of magic. So this is truly a momentous occasion. Guilty Minds is a very, very special show for us. At Amazon Prime Video, we pride ourselves in bringing stories to our audiences that are truly rooted in our soil, that are from the nooks and corners of our country. We've brought you shows like Mirzapur and Inside.
Sweetie!
Mirzapur, Family Man, Bandish Bandits, Inside Edge, Forgotten Army. It's a long list. But Guilty Minds is our first attempt at a legal drama. So we are a little anxious. This is a show that explores the intricacies of the law, the blacks, the whites, and the many, many grays that exist. And I'm so glad that our creator, Shefali Bhushan, and the co-creator, Jayant Somalkar, have brought an authentic, sensitive, and a very, very balanced portrayal of the courtrooms and the lawyers to this show. This is an extremely proud moment for us. Thank you so much, and I hope this show will make you pause, reflect, ponder, and question many, many things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aparna. May I just say, ladies and gentlemen, for someone who heads anything, okay, the passion with which you represent Amazon Prime Video, that's what inspires every woman in this room today. So thank you, Aparna.
Thank you.
Thank you for believing in your shows, okay, like you do. Of course,
I'd be guilty if I don't.
Well, touche. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to... Aparna, actually, I'd love for you to stay on stage with us while I invite the brains behind the show, the creator and the director of Guilty Minds, Shefali Bhushan. A big hand, please. Thank you. All yours, Shefali.
All right. Thank you so much. I wish I could see you all. Can we have a little bit of light over there? Thank you, firstly, to Amazon Prime Video. There would be no Guilty Minds, there would be no show if they didn't, and Aparna didn't, just recognize a good idea, good content, and really put heart and soul and money behind doing that, behind taking it to the viewers. So absolutely my heartfelt, very, very deep thanks, because it's rare. I have spent enough years going from pillar to post trying to convince producers about ideas that are really going to be liked by audiences and that have some solid content which people are going to think about and talk about, and perhaps in our own little ways we'll make some difference to how people are perceiving issues, and we are going to make them think about it. That has been our attempt, mine and my co-director Jayant Somalkar's, and that is what we have attempted and been hugely supported by Amazon Prime Video, Aparna, Sahira, and the entire team. I'm amazed at the kind of support I'm getting from the marketing team, from the PR team, from the production team, the post team, all the Amazon teams. And teams actually bring me to the main crux of the matter. This medium is teamwork. And I really believe that it works on human relationships. That's what we are trying to portray on screen. Those are my briefs to my actors. Always about understanding motivation of what that human being might be trying to convey. It is about creating moments. For me, it's all about moments, this medium. It's really, if there is a few moments that a viewer connects to and feels they relate to, and they feel like, oh, I would have done that, or maybe I would not have done that in this situation. If it's real, then it hits home. If it touches my viewer, if it makes them laugh or makes them cry, even once in an episode of 45 minutes, then I feel like my job is done. So I really want to thank my entire team. Of course, my co-director Jayant, without whom I would not have been able to do this at all. My producer Karan, my co-producers Antra Naved, all my HODs. Such brilliant creative minds and their teams. We have become like a really large family. I'm not exaggerating. You should just see the parties that we have. We party all the time together. They will vouch for it, all of these people over here. So yes, I feel that's the way filmmaking should be. It reflects on the product. And of course, the product I won't talk about because that is for you all to see. And hopefully, I really sincerely hope you will shower your love. And you will spread the word. Please see the trailer as we are going to present it to you. I'm very grateful to the universe for this show to see the light of day like this.
Thank you, Shefali. Thank you so much. Wow, this is what we're here for. This is the moment of reckoning. You know, you're also the most special audience in the world at this moment because you're literally the first ever audience who's going to watch the trailer of Guilty Minds. How does that feel, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, let's keep that excitement. Can I please request all of us to follow me as we exit the stage? Eyes on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Could we please watch the trailer of Guilty Minds? Team Kashyap, yeah, Team Deepak. I don't know yet. I've got to watch the show. But for right now, I'm definitely on the side of Team Guilty Minds. If you relate hard hashtag, you want to give them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That was amazing. That was so awesome. That was so awesome. Satish ji, agar aap... I have the MBA Law NMIMS to take the stage for a very special panel discussion. Please give him a huge round of applause and welcome him to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Basu. 2 minutes. Okay. No worries, no worries. So while he walks onto the stage, I'd also like to invite the ones who are going to be, interrogated. And I hope you're excited about it. Shefali, can I please call you back on the stage? Shefali, a big round of applause while they walk on. Shreya Pilgaonkar. Shreya, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, Varun Mitra, Monica Datta, and Ravindra Suryavanshi. Have a seat, please. Wherever you'd like to. Wherever you'd like to. Kindly have a seat. Hi, please. Thanks, Monica. I just want to say, man, I saw that trailer and law never looked this good.
Grown up in a family of lawyers. I think my 6th year, he just fought a case in the Supreme Court virtually.
Wow!
Just the other day, Mr. Shanti Bhushan.
Dr. Basu.
And both my brothers, my sisters-in-law, my nephews, the list is endless. So I've seen law very up close. Thankfully not been behind bars or in court or having anybody to defend me. But yes, I've seen it. What intrigues me is that it has two sides.
Yes.
Every issue has two sides. That is the most intriguing. There isn't anything that can be said that this is
Black
right
and white.
or that is wrong.
And
Arguments.
Very nicely you're wearing black and white today, so I just want to call attention to that. Having said that, thank you so much for answering my question. Dr. Basu, you do a way better job than me on this one, so I'm going to ask my wonderful audience to please give them a big hand again. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Basu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So here we are, and we have a galaxy of panel members consisting of specialist lawyers and the director herself and the two actors who have enacted this show. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. There is a school of thought that real life trials in courtroom movies are made for each other. That means what happens in a courtroom and what happens in a movie and show, they are made for each other. The lawyers tell the stories, right? The courtroom provides the theater, and the proceedings gives us a lot of drama, surprise, suspense, and sometimes even comedy. If that happens, what is depicted in the movie or show and what is depicted in a courtroom, real life proceedings, is it the same? Does it match? I do not know, my distinguished panelists will come and help us to understand. So our effort is to shed light on the courtroom proceedings in actual life vis-a-vis what has been shown in various traditional films and movies, and now what you have seen in the trailer. So what we are going to do, through this panel we will try to shed reality and shed light on established authenticity of what is there in Guilty Minds. And if that be so, you must have understood from proceedings so far of this event that a lot of research has gone behind it. A lot of work has gone behind it, as we have heard from my distinguished panelist, Chef Ali. So in the backdrop of that, let us start the discussion. And when I start the discussion, we will like to keep you in mind that we'll rotate the discussion points, and each of my panelists will be having 2 questions in rotation. Fine? Okay, I'll start with Advocate Monica Datta. Advocate Datta, we like the common people here, and you as an advocate, all of us must have seen various movies and shows, right? And you particularly as an advocate, must have seen the actual real-life courtroom proceedings, right? So, can you please tell us what really transpires in a real-life courtroom versus what we see in the film and shows? Is there any similarity? Is there any truth of life? Or is there any difference?
Thank you so much, Dr. Basu, and very good afternoon to all of you. So that's a very interesting question you asked, Dr. Basu, and while I believe that films and actually I think audiences love this gotcha moment, right? Like, think of this scene in a Hindi film I've watched growing up, where the hero prosecutor who is asking rapid fire questions, for the, and he's, his pitch is going up and up and up, and he asks questions after questions, which leads, and they're leading questions, and the person in the witness box will just, drop dead and say, "Ha, ye qatl maine hi kiya hai," right? Now contrast that to a real life courtroom where the first question will be asked by the prosecutor. He will actually read the question from a paper. The stenographer will look up, look down, and then he will start typing the question. Then the witness will look, is it my turn to speak? And the judge will look at him and say, yes. And then he will answer. And then the stenographer is going to type it again. And more often than not, the judge is going to repeat the answer. Now, I am also reminded of my first day at court, which was years ago, where I was obviously led by a senior counsel, and it was a trademark infringement matter. And I was super excited. The court called the matter, we went up, I was all, gung-ho, I had my files, I had my arguments, everything wrapped up. And the judge came, the senior counsel said, this is a trademark infringement matter, we are looking for an injunction. The judge looked up and said, yes, I've read the file, counsel, and I'm granting the injunction. And it all happened in a brief moment of not more than 30 seconds, and I just stopped and I said, hey, what happened here? I actually looked at him, I said, did we just get the injunction? Did we get an order? Have we won the case? I did not understand what was going on, and that was, not what I was hoping to see. But that does not mean that theatrical magic doesn't happen in courts. It does. I mean, we hear stories of, the legendary Fali Nariman, for example, in his op-ed on the occasion of the birthday of Mr. Daftari, who is a legendary jurist, of course, all law students would know of him. And he recounted this interesting piece of incident where after he finished his arguments at the court, he sat down. And Mr. Daftari, rose and he started coughing violently. And the judges were really disturbed and they're like, Mr. Daftari, are you all right? Are you all right? Why don't you have a glass of water? And Mr. Daftari just, went back and he said, and that is what he was hoping to hear. And he said, well, I'm quite all right, your lordship. It's just this, that I'm, trouble swallowing the arguments of my learned counsel in the opposite side. So that's the theatrical magic for you. And I'm sure this is what inspires lovely and talented filmmakers like Shefali here. And that is where we see the drama, what we see. So you see it and you hear it. So there is this everyday life, and then there are these legends and the legendary gentlemen and women who are out there making history. And then we have them. So yeah.
Thank you so much. You have really, really explained the position here. I'll now come to Shefali. Shefali, first of all, let me congratulate you and your entire team for such a wonderful work you have done. And big round of applause from the audience for Shefali and our team members. Our idea to ask this question is that this particular film you must have done with a lot of research in not only in legal domain, but definitely in the various dimensions of the societal domain. I'm sure what all research you have done, you will kindly give us some views about it. And my objective to ask this question is to help the audience to understand that through this drama, some differentiation has been created. How the courtroom scenes are to be enacted in a movie show like this, and how it is done in a traditional legacy kind of systems in show. So first about your research, and next about your differentiation.
Yes, research definitely. I think our focus was to try and go as deep into the question, not only societally, but also legally. So in fact, we had a writer's room of 4 people, myself, Jayant, Manav, who is a lawyer by training, though he is not practicing law, and Diksha Gujral, who is also a lawyer who is practicing. So we would actually try and write arguments very accurately. We researched the actual acts we would read, try and build arguments based on what an actual lawyer would actually try and find for either party. And since there are always arguments on both sides, that is what the entire attempt was. So detailed research went into every question. We also picked up 10 different issues that we are tackling in the 10 different episodes. So we actually had to begin to understand from scratch a lot of complex issues, not only about the issue itself, but also about the law behind it and what the legal position is, or in some instances, which you'll see when you see the show, where there is really no legislation right now, because some of our episodes are also futuristic. So there needs to be thought about how the legislation is going to be drafted to deal with those questions. So that's to answer your research question.
Okay.
And
And
about
differentiation?
So the differentiation, yes. I mean, I think we were also a little handicapped, as Monica said, that one cannot show it absolutely accurately. Judgments take years to sometimes get delivered, and we have a judgment coming at the end of every episode, which is definitely far away from reality. Also, like she was elaborating, there are lawyers like Mr. Daftari, who was brilliant, many others, including my father, who are very dramatic in their approach in court. So there is a lot of drama, there is a lot of laughter. Both Varun, Shreya, many of the other actors playing lawyers would ask me that, is it filmy? Is this a little too filmy, or is it like this? I said, no, I myself have seen it. I've attended court when some really good lawyers are arguing, and it's very entertaining. It is very engaging. It is almost like theatrics. So I think all lawyers definitely have acting ambitions as well.
In fact, theatrics is definitely needed. Varun, you represent the sun god. You represent the sun god. You represent the earth and everything. And now in this film you represent the legal world along with your co-actress, right? So if that be so, I have a very interesting question, because I have never faced a situation like today's panel, because I have always been amongst professionals. And now you are also a professional, but you are an actor. Huh? Keeping that perspective in view, may I ask you a very simple question? How, as an actor, you prepared yourself and got into the skin and below the skin of a lawyer to understand what you have to portray and enact? This is my first question. And second question, do you think that what you have seen in movies and